One of the things that we are always concerned with is when we go to a new church, how they're going to treat our son. You know, we have to think about the environment that we're bringing him into, and how we can make it work for our family. And, you know, I could see how some families choose to stay home instead of going to church because it's easier.
The biggest way that a church can support caregivers is by making them know that they are loved, making them know that they are not here alone, and by doing tangible things like visiting the family, visiting us families who have children with special needs, visiting us caregivers, you know, giving us a phone call, taking us out to eat, giving us a day to where we can just have respite. That is one of the biggest things that I can say that churches that they can do to help caregivers is give caregivers time to take care of themselves in whichever way that look like.
We can have ramps and elevators and handicap restrooms, but if our programs within the church or within an organization, whether religious or not, if they don't include ways to help people with special needs be included, then we're not really handicap accessible, regardless of what our structure is. When you communicate with the caregivers and say, what can we do to include this child? That is wind beneath their wings. That just means so much to them that somebody wants to include them.
We need respite. We're exhausted. We go 24/7. There's nothing. Providing a evening out, some time where church staff is trained and can keep an eye on your person and give you that much needed break where you can just take a breath. Also, come visit us. We can't always make it to church, but that doesn't mean we still don't need the support. We definitely need the visits, people checking in on us, making sure we're okay.
I think a way that churches and faith communities can help caregivers or support caregivers is just by checking in on them, letting them know that they are seen and they are an important part of the faith community.
I think all churches, like this church, need to be able to step up and embrace and include people with disabilities. They'll be able to see the potential in them, see what they can do rather than what they can't do, and say yes rather than no.
I feel like there's sometimes we can be a little bit outcasted or not with everyone else, and sometimes I feel like, if there's just more space for a wheelchair or a ramp to make it accessible instead of stairs, that would be very helpful. And that's only in a church setting per se. Outside of a church setting, sometimes caregivers need support in many different ways. I know that some people need support financially, some people need support by, getting out the house, having a babysitter, respite, all of these different things. So I feel like it's not just one way that a church or a faith community could support caregivers, but there's many different ways, and I feel like each family is so unique that it would just be needed to ask each individual family how they could be supported.
Caregivers still need care too. We aren't made to do it alone, and we frankly shouldn't have to. When the church fails to recognize the need, it's not just the caregivers they're forgetting. They're also forgetting and failing the weakest members of our society.